I pride myself as the Unified Igbos Now proponent, as a member of other proponents, and also the convener of the Unified Igbos Now. Igbo Ndabia ekene munu. Igbo Delta State ekene munu. Igbo Rivers ekene munu. Igbo niile, Igbo gburugburu ekene munu. Ana m ekele gị, our Royal Majesty. Ana m ekele the distinguished ladies and gentlemen of the press. Ana m ekele ndị niile, my fellow Unified Igbos Now proponents. Na-ekele ụmụnne anyị ndị nọ ofesi ndị na-akwado dị mmadụ dịka agbacha aha dị ka nkụ. So ụmụnne anyị ndị na-akwado anyị, ana m ekele unu. Chukwuemeka, I pride myself as the Unified Igbos Now proponent, as a member of other proponents, and also the convener of the Unified Igbos Now. Aga m ebido mana ihe anyị ga-agụ aga m agụ ya n'okwu Igbo maka a lot of other people ndị na-anụ Igbo ka ha mata ihe anyị ji na-aga. The Constitution has given the people the prime authority in the land by which the Constitution itself draws its power. Also, the right to self-determination is the right of the people. This too draws its validity not just from the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, but also from the United Nations Determinations Principles. My stumbling upon the Unified Igbos Now project was an accident of grace. You first need to be a man with vision, translate it into a mission that seek permission, then seek permission and see who follows you and your direction. When I first thought about the Unified Igbos Now, I was filled with doubts. If this is something that can work, I wouldn't know where to start, as it was a new idea. I think it was the design of the gods as such. Even though I was the first to initiate the Unified Igbos Now ideology, I submit all to the glory of God for making me stumble upon the initiative and for giving me the strength to start Ndi Igbo Cultural and Social Enlightenment for Unity Foundation. At this juncture, I appreciate all the people who have now become the activists of the Unified Igbos Now project, so that we may be united in objective, irrespective of our differences. This is very crucial to defeating the exploitable division that has been the bane of Igbo progress. As a leader, I seek to welcome all the comrades in Igbo integration, praying for a sustained objective, unity and limitation of greed, that we can always be guided by the light of truth and concern for our people, by which this initiative was given to us. Now let us focus on the objectives of this movement. Once I traveled from Onitsha to Asaba on the Niger Bridge, I could feel how our ancestors crossed each side to build another settlement. And I said to myself, if the river wasn't a barrier to our ancestors, why us? Why would we be demarcated by artificial nomenclature like Southeast, South-South, and North-Central? I bet people who weren't deterred by natural barriers wouldn't be caged and divided by artificial ones. To unify with our brothers and sisters across Niger and fashion one Igbo family has been the battles of our ancestors. And as the river flows, so shall the unity flow with it. But one way to achieve this is by listening and answering the calls of our ancestors. And the Unified Igbos Now shall deploy the elements of our traditions and culture. This movement aims at achieving Ali Igbo unification through peaceful measures that ensures the prosperity of our people and the continuity of our positive values. The core objective is peace, positive value, and sustainable advancements. First, we seek cultural reunion of our people all over the world by following the principles of our tradition and the heritage of our forefathers. Having traveled the length and breadth of Igbo land, I marveled throughout my voyage as I understood what potential the land holds. To explore the fortunes of this land, which, when properly harnessed, can transform this place into a hotspot of culture, tourism, and sport. Even as the government at different levels struggles with the post-subsidy economy, we seek to unify our people into prosperity. In my travels, I encountered several beautiful people connected through the blood of that Igbo heritage. Though there are slight variations in the rendering of the values, the principles remains the same. I have discovered that no other approach can be more effective in unifying our people than exploring our culture, linguistics, and worldview. Also, noteworthy among my discoveries is the enterprising and positive competition nature of the Igbo people wherever we are. For this enterprising and competitive appeal, I have found modern ways to revive the core Igbo culture. Dancing on Chinua Achebe's pen, I stumbled upon this remarkable rendering of the Igbo wrestling culture in his book, Things Fall Apart, remembering the victory of Okonkwo as he drew Amalinze, the cat, in the wrestling match, thereby bringing honor to his village. Seeing how the audience was thrilled, and then I asked, how long are we going to let things fall apart in our Igbo? We have to pick up where we left off. Even as our heritage enriches the world, the people who own these values are left in self-inflicted penury. It is not an uncommon sight to find Igbo artifacts in European museums. Also not uncommon is the zeal which we watch world sports. Then I ask, how did we get to this point where we abandoned our culture to watch its imitation? You need to see the disappointment glaring in the eyes of some of the elders that I have met in my journey as they recount their stories from their grandparents' lips. Often there is a sense of failure when they realize that they couldn't transfer these values to the next generation. The abandonment of our Egwu Mba, Egwu, and the dwindling situation of, or maybe the ensued preservation of Ijele and other great masquerades, the revival of our Nkanozu, and several other unique Igbo cultures. Science and innovations, this is the objective of unifying Igbo. We also understand that culture is a continuum. As such, we are seeing how our people have developed passions for modern sports like football, marathons, volleyball, etc. We have decided to integrate them into our program. This will certainly bet an Igbo sports tournament where we aspire to soon hold an Igbo regional football league. This will help to create and refine football and other sports talents that would make our children highly competitive and marketable in the global sports. Oh, once again, I recall reading the works of Achebe and Flora Wampa, and I ask, what is happening in the Igbo literature scene? Although I commend figures like Ngozi Adichie, who still sustains the light of the Igbo pen. However, generally, there is a current dim in the light of Igbo literature. This movement will explore ways to encourage literature. Our music and our intellectual property are now left out. Ever since the time of Osadebe, Oliver de Coke, and Moroko Wamaduka, the Igbo nation has been struggling to find a footing in the Nigerian high life scene. Also remembering legends like Onyeka Onwenu, Celestine Ukwu, Mike Ejaga, etc. It seems like we are struggling to stay afloat in the current times. Generally, The Igbo music industry has on a downward spiral lately, even as several Nigerian artists have been nominated for the Grammy. It is quite unfortunate that Igbo music is not seeing much global penetration. This we would look into. However, we would take it one step at a time. Looking at the uniqueness of the Igbo subgroups, we still have a lot of work to do in identifying the clan's continuity. To be honest, the clans are tough to understand, especially within the Southeast. For instance, it is easier to understand the Okwane clan, the Ikwere clan, the Obibo, the Eche, the Eka, and etc. But when we get to Southeast, it becomes harder to understand the distinction between these clans. For instance, Nsoka alone hosts several clans like Opi, Ozowan, Enugu-Ejike, Obolo, Obolafo, and etc. Onitsha and Nnewi clans are just but two of several other distinct clans in Anambra State. As I said earlier, there is still a lot of work to be done in properly identifying these clans, because only discovering and accepting our differences can we forge together. Utilizing activities like Football League according to clan lines would be instrumental. These cohesive clans would come forward as a team, thereby shining a brighter light on how the people identify themselves, because currently our understanding of the Igbo clans, despite our extensive reach, still feels like an onion. When you open one lobe, you discover there is another lobe. We are integrating these moves to first understand our people, our similarities, and our differences, and then come together as a people to champion our destiny. From all indications, it is a huge task, and if we must succeed in an inch further, we need maximum support from you and every person involved. Thank you, and God bless.